Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to an exciting, riveting, and amazing Propagandacast from your host, Imperial Dane, the one, the only master of propaganda, your lord and master, your king of kings, owner of Best of the Propaganda Cat. We're off here to a 1v1 on a middle road in the north. It is Jimmy fighting for the Red Army, the Soviet Union. No, Basil, not my hand. Comrade Stalin here with Guard Motor Airborne Troops and Lend-Lease with the 24th Guards Mechanized Corps, Triple Infantry. In the south it is Iroha fighting for the Oberkommand West Germany, Deutschland. Let's just go with... What do you think, Basil? What do you think? Basil says the Panzerdivision Müncheberg, interestingly enough. With Grand Offensive, Overwatch, and Luftwaffe Ground Forces, double Volksgrenadiers versus double conscripts. Also, big thanks to Simon for donating and supporting the Propagandacast with his hard-earned money. Big thanks to you, Simon, you wonderful devil, you. Other people can join his heroic example by donating via PayPal, or they can join in the other heroic examples of my Patreon supporters and pledge via Patreon. Links are in the video description, and comment, like, share, subscribe, press the bell button. Talk about how wonderful this episode is, or how wonderful I am. Or how wonderful Basil is. He loves that, don't you, Basil? Say something, Basil. Yeah, there we go. So, triple comes here for Jimmy as he sets out here for the 7th Company, and Iroha here with the 2nd. Heading southeast with the 2 Volksgrenadiers laying down sandbags to prepare for any Soviet incursions. Up north, the Sturm Pioneers tread a lonely path nearby the conscript squads, wondering who drank all the vodka rations, which the Soviet infantry did have, and it was also not uncommon for Soviet commanders to underreport casualties so they could get a larger amount of rations. Fun fact. Sturm Pioneer getting ground points. We got conscripts with the Sturm Pioneer truck on the way for Iroha. Bit of light skirmishing, moving northwards there. In the south, Volksgrenadiers moving towards the centre. And we got the 3rd Volksgrenadier there for Iroha. Bit of skirmishing there. Flanking up behind. 4th conscript here for Jimmy, so lightly airborne troops here, as he will then look to take advantage of having so many conscripts there directly, though theoretically it could also be Guard Motor or Lend-Lease, but typically I'd say 4 conscript builds in most situations tell you airborne troop tactics. Up north, the Sturm Pioneer being surrounded. Jimmy skillfully maneuvering his men around here to deal with the Sturm Pioneer as efficiently as possible. In the centre, the Volksgrenadiers for some reason on the wrong side of the cover. That set the GS up against the near squad, which is not much of a threat. The Sturm Pioneer down to 2 men. Can't get into position. Need to retreat there because the Volksgrenadiers can't merge with the Sturm Pioneer. That's a fun fact. Absorbing whatever units were into make up for losses was actually fairly common in the German army as well. In fact, during the fighting in Normandy, the 352nd Infantry Division would actually absorb a lot of, lower quality troops from various types of units, that is, merging them into their own forces. Fun fact. Nothing new squad there. Jimmy did suffer a loss there. Great for Iroha. Skirmishing on here and there. Foot squad almost wiped out here by Jimmy's stalwart socialist infantry. But yeah, a bit inefficient engagements here for Jimmy in some cases. Still, not like Iroha is having an easy time of it either. 2nd near squad out, flamethrowers on the way, medics there. Back in Iroha's base, we got the Kampfgruppe Hauptquartier here for the Panzerdivision Müncheberg, which was a very, very late war formation. It was formed up from the 503rd Schwere Panzerabteilung after that was disbanded. By 1945, Panzer Division was a lot less impressive than was earlier in the war, and they were effectively identical to Panzer Grenadier divisions. They had a battalion of Panzer Grenadiers, a battalion of Panzers, and some other stuff there. And we're strip reinforcing healing. Grabbing the centre, about way off. Sturm Pioneer advancing on the centre up north here. Folks pushing back the conscripts. Charging into the flamethrower. There's definitely ambitious there by Iroha. But up close they should have the advantage that they're still kind of in the cover. Bonus still pull through there. Southern points being seized here. No sign of a commander yet here for Jimmy. Could go for the airborne troops and begin dropping in some weapons. I think that'd be a pretty good idea here to start pushing back against Iroha with. Who's going for the 251-17 flak half-track. Most anti-aircraft guns in the war were typically of the half-tracked or truck-based kind. The flashy anti-aircraft tanks was on pretty much all sides very rare. Little fun fact there, by the way. Storm Peony push back, focusing northwards. Flak half track on the way there. Seizing the southern point here. Fullskunde if you like, got the Sturmgewehr 44 upgrade on the way. Comes with the Fullskunde here, a bit of a better engaged in some ways there. From there we go, assault rifles ready. Definitely increasing the firepower significantly in the Iroha's command. Up north here, 2 squads going for the depleted full squad, rushing in, and not in time. They're partner neutral, and Iroha here with Luftwaffe ground forces. Opening up for heavy fortifications, smoke bombs, the Fallschirmjäger or Green Devils, Valiant Assault, and the Airborne Assault. Flak half out in the south here, contributing for the southern lanes here. Flak half track arriving, contributing there behind light cover is unsurprisingly pulling back, as light cover is not much of use against a flak half track. Do not very comrades, these stacks of Hable. Oh shit, that won't cover. Retreat! North there, contributing force there for Jimmy. Engineers there need to probably get some tech going. I mean, it is worth noting Jimmy currently has 0 anti-tank weapons at his disposal there. Got a bit too caught up, I think, in some less than great engagements bleeding him out, which of course means Iroha's flak half track is very good, because there is absolutely nothing at the moment that can really threaten it. Which is typically when a light vehicle is the most powerful, it's when there's absolutely nothing to stop it. So, we can see that Jimmy is obviously going to rush out a CIS-3 divisional field gun, but again, the manpower bleeding here through several engagements is definitely helping you to have, of course, remove any obstacles here. And there we go, we got the Fallschirmjägers on the way here from a nearby Fallschirmjäger division. Though, by the later stage of the war, most Fallschirmjägers were effectively Fallschirmjägers in name only. Like, they were raising entire Fallschirmjäger divisionen and your armies, but like, they're pretty much just, spare Luftwaffe personnel, given some, like, Luftwaffe emblazoned helmets, but it's just equipped like, the average German infantryman if they were that equipped. So, little fun fact. I mean, that was certainly in by 1945, still, some veteran Fallschirmjägers that still knew their stuff, but a lot of them were effectively just Fallschirmjägers in name only. Field gun on the way here for Jimmy. Tearing through here, shattering hedges and squirrels alike. The tiny screams drowned out by the 2-centimeter flak gun. Jim here, they're definitely feeling the pressure. Still no commander. I mean, it could still end up being guard mode, I suppose. I mean, that's always, a good, nice fallback. But we'll have to see. Fallschirmjägers there popping into the shed, setting up a nice position with the FD-42s, tearing into nearby surrounding Soviet infantry with practiced ease. North here, contributing for the folks who have a northern point. Got a wipe here, though, Iroha. Iroha definitely got took up on other things, allowing here Jim to get a good wipe. That's great for him. Definitely helps him out a bit here versus Iroha and the German army. But Kedmev on the way there. Obviously, Iroha is really concerned about the possibility of being hit by a T-70 now, so the Kedmev, that makes a ton of sense. Of course, the reality is Jamie is just nowhere near it, because he's just been under so much pressure from Iroha. The manpower bleeding has just been very intense. Part of this, I think, is just Jamie not laying down a lot of sandbags at the right points, but also getting suckered into engagements that just aren't favourable. That's typically one of the challenges as the Soviet is knowing when to fight and knowing when to back off. If you fight too many engagements, you're freely typically find yourself very bled out as the Soviets quickly, and that typically, of course, is great for your opponents. There you go, one squad wipe. Film gets great help from the field gun. It's also one reason why I think many Soviet players just stick to 3 conscripts, 2 engineers. Again, it slightly, also helps avoid the manpower bleeding. That mileage, bite them in the arse. Of course, again, not all. But it definitely looks like he's not planning airborne troops. I was going to go on for it sooner. Had some submachine, not submachine, but FC-40s out here versus Iroha, which have obviously been great here for Jimmy. So, bit of rough. We got the Fallschirmjäger hiding here by the fuel point, ready to hose down any infantry. And there we go, guard mode here for Jimmy in the end. T-3045s, heavy mortars, guards for infantry, vehicle crew repair training, and marked vehicle. Mines going down. Of course, Jamie here taking a deep breath, reassessing the situation, and deciding that, what measures need to be taken. Very sensible there. Sometimes, you may have one thing planned out there, but again, the situation on the ground changes, and then you just have to go with option B. In this case, option B is maybe, is guard motor with DP light machine gun, guardsman, all that stuff. Can't fault him for that. He may plan something else, but again, the situation here definitely calls for something more solid and conventional guards. motor, because again he did... Holy shicey! Full wipe on the Fallschirmjäger. That was definitely rather bolted there by Iroha, but again he was basically, banking on the inaccuracy of the field gun, working in his favour. In this case, it did the exact opposite. Do you know, very Otto? These Russians are terrible shots. Yeah, but don't that means they could, hit us after we repositioned? Don't very Otto! Poof! And then they're just all gone. Another Fallschirmjäger squad here. I mean, Iroha's definitely a big fan of the Fallschirmjägers. Can't fault him for that. The Fallschirmjägers were certainly an interesting unit. Flak having moving northwards. Sandbag shattered here. Iroha wanting none of that. Of course, now Team may also have more time to begin starting to take up. At this point, I imagine it's going to be the mechanized armor company that said he's up against the Oberkommando, so he could theoretically rush out T-70, but those conscripts are going to have a very bad time if they're alive by the time of it. Really close calls on both sides. Almost got the flak half track. I think Jim would have preferred not losing the conscript war because he can't really afford these manpower in these wipes all the time. Sturmpion is the guardsman. Quick retreat here from Iroha as he realizes his Sturm partner is about to have their faces given new breathing holes. Maximum weather for Jimmy to help deal with the German infantry. Another Fallschirmjäger squad here. Iroha committing heavily to the Fallschirmjägers. That is very nice to see there. They are fairly good assault infantry and with their FG-42s, bomb grenades, and of course the Blend Carbot. Grab some point for the guardsman. Maxim, no, cancelled. Is he finally going to take up? Oh, he's going for another guard squad. I mean, more guardsmen though makes sense as well. The guards from the double DP light machine guns are incredibly formidable, in particular once they gain veterancy, they can lay down some intense firepower versus any infantry. North, they're constantly forwards here, in the centre field bombarding here, trying to snuff out Iroha's infantry. Reinforcing healing. In the south here, guardsmen versus the Fallschirmjäger squad number 2. And immediately tearing into them. Fallschirmjägers definitely disadvantaged there at long range versus the DP and a just larger squad here. This is a great engagement there for Jimmy. In the centre, we're going to push for the car point here. We've got the second guard squad plus the field gun here. DP's also about to hit here. Fallschirmjägers down to 3 men guardsmen, some man losses. A lot of fun. He ends up retreating over the arrival of the full grenadiers here. Surprised they also didn't try to get them into light cover there a bit. Bun grenade, almost getting a wipe here. Really close call there. Really wants that guard squad dead for very underground group. There you go, mine goes off and almost takes out the Fallschirmjägers in return. It is just a ruthless circus of carnage here. Flak half to the move there. You'd have moving in with the Schwerer Wehrmachtschlepper to set up the really big flak half track. And Jimmy has yet to take up, but again, the manpower bleeding here is definitely an issue there. He definitely, I think, should consider using the conscripts to merge here to keep the reinforcement cost down. That would, I think, benefit Jimmy a lot, considering there's probably a bit of manpower that can be saved there. And allow him to go faster for the tech, because he really needs to push for some T-34-85s soon. The cannon moving northwards. Conscripts the Sturmpioniere. Field gun moving in there. This is 3. Conscripts engineers also setting out. Guardsmen advancing in there. Looks like it's going to try and flank up behind here the main force of Iroha. Well, not main force, but the northern force. South side's being grabbed. Meanwhile, the rest of Iroha's forces are back in the base. Both of those Fallschirmjägers immediate reinforcement, healing, and a nice schnapps. Schwer Wehrmachtschlepper they're moving about, setting up there by the northern fuel, or western fuel. Mines there, very good. We can see the Jimmy with the power of the guardsmen essentially turning the game around there again, showing just how powerful the guardsmen are. Make no mistake, but also the field gun barrage and the Fallschirmjägers and some of the mines here have also of course been significant factors in the advantage of Jimmy. Plus, it's also just part of the Oberkommando, shall we say, power curve, where most tends to be more of a steady curve upwards. The Oberkommando of the Soviets is more, the Oberkommando is more like, weird valley, initially very strong, but as they sort of head towards the mid game, they sort of lose some of their power compared to the other faction, then late game they become very strong again. So typically there's when you see them slowly lose ground, they really look to exploit that power gap. So Jimmy definitely needs to taking up soon, begin churning out those T-35 versus Iroha. Fallschirmjägers on the move, and of course soon he can begin upgrading with the FD-42s. Yep, more FD-42s. So this is also again where things get more challenging for Jimmy, and again highlights the need for him to take up very quickly. Guard falling back here, looking to set up positions to draw in the Fallschirmjägers and murder them at the range of the DPs. That is tactically Very sensible play by Jimmy. So getting caught at short range with those Fallschirmjägers will not end in any happy moments for those guardsmen. Attack finally happening for Jimmy, very good. Schwerer Panzer quarters up and authorized there for Iroha, and very close to the Panther 4. So again, we can sort of see that this is where the second set of troubles could slowly begin to happen there for Jimmy, unless he gets those T-35s they're going very soon, or even just a swarm of T-34s and 6s. Sandbags being shattered alongside the barbed wire. We did it, Otto! Wir ruhen sie barbed wire! Ja, aber wir ruhen sie Sandbags too. Kankovichenko coming up here for Jimmy in a few moments. And then, of course, straight into the Mechanized Armor Company, and then the T-34-85s. Backbone of the late war Soviet army. Flare mines down there. Thumbs up to Jimmy. Troops reinforcing healing. They had initially tried to come up with a placement for the T-34, known as the T-43, and I think there's also a previous program for that, but they all kind of being scrapped. And so the T-35 there came about. There's just a way to upgrade it by just maintaining the chassis, but focusing on a bigger gun and a bigger turret. Fallschirmjägers moving forward here, attack straight into the positions here. Jimmy, of course, realizing he is absolutely not equipped for stopping a full Fallschirmjäger backed assault here with a lot of FT-42s. Very wisely decides to continue the ground in retreat instead of trying to fight an engagement that just led him to suffer a lot of manpower losses, especially when he's so close to the T-35. Rather just have the T-35 support his infantry. Plus he's at the point we can also begin just upgrading them with the mobilized reserves ability, which is really good too as well. So there's just not really much reason here for Jimmy to waste manpower at a otherwise fruitless engagement. Now he can go for the T-35 there, definitely should. That should be a priority here for Jimmy, and there we go. Got the flak after the field gun. Guardsmen are suppressed. Maybe one's trying to put into the building there actually, so they can recover a bit. And there we go. Oh, we actually get Valiant Assault here from Iroha. 2 thumbs up. Such an overlooked ability, but these abilities are honestly quite good. Gives a 15% accuracy bonus and then 10%, less received accuracy bonus. Then it's become slightly harder to hit as well. It used to actually get 25%, but it was deemed necessary to turn down a bit as it gave some units, particularly veterans, really, really good attack boosts. Still, really good ability there, plus it gives some sprint when they're not in combat, so again, allows you to swiftly move ahead. Not quite assault and hold, but, very similar, and similarly, very good. So big push here by Iroha, carried a out there by the Valiant Assault there, charging through the Soviet lines, and completely throwing Jimmy off there, as he was definitely not expecting that, because, most Oberkommanders players never make use of this ability, and honestly, most abilities like these never really get used by the average player. So, they're always, I think, great to use, in part because your opponent's never going to expect them. So, thumbs up there to Iroha. Part of the catch in the field and crew easily gunning it down. Need to get the T-35 back there. Can't support with the flank half track. Merging in to try and save it. Definitely a rough situation. The T-35 is not reacting to this battle, which I find is a bit interesting. And there you go, the field crew is just being extended. He's merging again. The Fallschirmjäger is just so mercilessly just slaughtered. It's like a trail of carnage here. As the Fallschirmjäger just annihilate everything. Really just highlighting how potent these actually can be once they're fully upgraded. Sure, they are expensive to reinforce, but I think it's safe to say you get, bang for your buck in this situation here. Guardsman flanking here. Nice flank here by Jimmy. Definitely requires some patience there. But catches the Panther 4 in the bad spot, and now the fight could be trouble. That's it. The Guardsman really bundled up, which means a bomb grenade is going to be amazing. But there you go. Oh no, the retreat! Oh no! Oh, Gott im Himmel! He almost blew apart his own men entirely, but definitely took some loss. Then mine goes off. Oh, God. It looks so brilliant. And then Iroha got too eager. Jimmy saw the opportunity, counter-attacked, and left. Iroha punished him because he grenaded his own men. Oh, my God. Brilliant, though, for Jimmy, though. Brilliant. Sometimes, again, waiting for your opponent to extend and then counter-attacking into the flank is Really well set up there. Again, that's also the crucial time because, again, many people, when they counterattack, just attack straight into the line of the attack. So they just, run so well, guns are already pointing. But Jamie here wisely just minimized, forced to do that, and then attack from another angle where then Iroha's guns were not ready, and in fact caught his Panzerfaust trying to get out there in a really bad spot. So, really well set up there by Jamie. T-35 they're being fixed up. He can go for another one. Iroha, meanwhile, is definitely in a precarious position. Northern victory point here. We got 391 versus 330. Another Panzerfaust there for Iroha and the German army. Field gun out. Guards reinforcing. Another T-35 here for Jimmy. Now, there are also, say, two types of the T-35s of the early model with a slightly less impressive turret and a slightly less powerful 85mm gun, and then there's the later version, which was this one, which had a better gun and overall further armored turret that could definitely take a few more hits to the front. Which will show, say, the primary version of the T-3485. Sturmpionier about to be flanked by the T-3485. Good hit there. Veterans one again, the T-35. Iroha's Panzerfaust is ready, but Iroha is definitely in a tight position. Note what he's doing here, though. He's actually lining up for a larger flank for the north, I think. Trying to swing behind Jimmy's northern flank here. I think that's a wise idea. He's more like just to catch some of Jimmy's units off guard there and just not ready to receive, full brunt here from Iroha. Of course, it does mean other parts of the map are in a bit of risk, but I think Iroha has realized he needs to, find Jim in an awkward position. That way, deliver a more strong blow to where he isn't ready. Grenade off here. Holds out. T-35 on the move here. Second one ramming. Got the Panther moving as well. Looks like we'll be seeing a larger battle here by the northern road, which we typically do not see happen on this map. Farther away, which is interesting. Great hit from the T-35. Almost wipes in the tower. Fox squad. The Kedman shoots. Panther could arrive to assist as well. Almost got the guard squad. Can he get the wipe? No. Meanwhile, other T-35 tank further in the northern fields are getting behind Iroha's northern flank, which he was hoping to exploit against Jimmy. Ruthless, but excellent. So what will Iroha do next? Jimmy's definitely got him fairly well contained now. And crucially, he's got him outgunned, and at this rate we'll be able to push out more T-35 versus Iroha. But he's definitely not a quitter here. He's looking to again just find other units to isolate, and isolated I suppose is a better way to put it, and deal with them. But now Jimmy is hounding here Iroha. He's sensing blood in the water and he wants more. So Iroha here's definitely a tough position. Got some orbital artillery to supplement the Fallschirmjägers. Equipped with the MG-34. Which also, by the way, had a fairly high rate of fire. I mean, while the game tends to some displays not a very high rate of fire, but it had a very high rate of fire as well. The major difference between the MG-42 and the MG-34 is not just the rate of fire. Again, that was certainly a nice point. It was also just the MG-42 was much easier to produce and maintain than the MG-34. Ultimately, against the concept of heavy damage here, need to be careful. Again, from the T-35, that punches straight through. Fighting squad, Orbison squad, almost wiped out there. Iroha, though, is believing in the might of the elite infantry here, under his command of North Pont being seized by the Frontovics. Panther's the conscripts, pushing them back here with some well-placed shots. And we got a second Academy for Iroha. He definitely knows where the winds are blowing, and he needs more anti-tank weapons to help blunt Jimmy's armored fist. Guards in the finding positions. Flak after the veteran fleet, definitely channel apart and punishing them for setting up in that position within range of North Panther going from Northern Victory Point. We got 391 to 86. Jimmy could consider having more to bombard Iroha's position, maybe hope to get some wipes, but otherwise going for more T-35s makes a lot of sense. That said, though, Jimmy has actually suffered some losses now. Guardsman gone, lost the conscript squad. Great for Iroha. Definitely helps close the gap between the two. Though Jimmy definitely enjoys the armor advantage. When we get to that T-35 hit to veteran fleet, that's going to get really dangerous, since that being has a very high rate of fire. Sorry about the hiccup, but the way My apologies. Sturmpioneer advancing, T-55 there, and that's the veteran being caught by the Panther 4 and the Sturmpioneer with the Panther Strike, though neither really managed to hit and make an impression. Shot fired, whiffed. Maxim being played by the Fallschirmjägers. Mauling the Maxim. Panther 4 the 6 kills, half 8 to it into 1. Jamie is now very, very close to the T-35 number 3. At that rate, Iroha may have to consider like a Jagdpanzer here. They're more likely going to go for another Panther 4. Got something a minor loss. Fallschirmjägers, they need to retreat here. Their position is compromised, the numbers are dropping, and the health total is low. Very close to that third T-35 for Jamie. His T-35 will remain a large reserve. He's not quite willing to commit them here versus Iroha. The question is if he's concerned about Iroha hiding something, or he's just kind of forgotten about them. Got the T-35 the better 2 arriving here. The northern one remains absolutely inert. There we go, repairing it a bit there in the pond. T-35 for the Volksgunners, pushing them back, and there we go, third T-35 for Jamie. That's going to be a sizable force here under Jamie's command and very tough to deal with. Like, again, one of the reasons why the T-35 is so powerful, of course, just has so much health for such a low-cost, relatively low-cost unit. Plus, again, it just has a good amount of firepower, so they can just allow to like really make these punishing attacks. The opponent just can't like damage the T-35 enough to like drop the numbers, so you'll just take a lot of damage, while they can soak up a lot of damage, which tends to be a pretty potent combo. Third T-35 there. Iroha still got nothing there. Manpower-wise, is definitely an issue. These are planning a Panther though. Jagdpanzer, Panther 4. Those are the other big questions. Oh, Concord on the wrong side of the heavy cover. Gets lucky here though, shot whiffs. Sneak up on the south here with the T-35 there. And the opposite side definitely pay the price. The heavy lands a good hit. He's advancing. More T-35s there ready. That is again a total of 3 of them here for Jamie. Now then, is Iroha planning the Panther 4? But then again, with so much fuel already, he's probably just going to go for the Panther. It will struggle to match the T-35s in terms of firepower, and they do have fairly good penetration, so the Panther could risk just getting focused down. Then again, with 2 Academy and the Panther Strike, it's not hopeless, but it's going to be tough here for Iroha. It's going to be tough. Particularly if Jeremy has enough ammunition, then remember most use marked vehicles, since that obviously further damages, boosts the damage of the tanks against a tank that he targets, most likely the Panther, in which case the Panther could very quickly go, well, ablaze. There you go, Panther caught up with the T-35, so they kept setting up. Here's Sturmpioneer nearby. Need to blitz. We've got air support called in here, hoping to use the Luftwaffe to turn the tide. There we go, damage engine hits a mine. This is excellent, this is absolutely what he needed. Thumbs up to Iroha, missed that mine. Got the T-35, that Panther 4's down, but a Panther 4 modified for the T-35 that is not terrible, but not great either. That's if he gets another T-35, then suddenly that's amazing. Betsy 4 flak craft actually did some damage to the rear of the T-35, but that does cost him it. Can't go for the Panther now. I would say a Panther 4 mod and a flat craft tech for 2 T-35s is... well, that's not terrible, in particular when it's crucial to keep in mind here, though. Iroha still has the infantry lead. Who's going for another Panther 4? Now that makes sense. I mean, his opponent's done just 2 conscript squads, but Iroha still has the Fallschirmjägers, the Obersoldaten, and 2 Volksgunners, plus the Sturmpioneer, though they are equipped with minesweepers and Panther Strike, but still... this is actually a definite edge there for Iroha, as long as it doesn't, like, blow it. So, thumbs up there to Iroha. Jimmy will need to replace his tanks, but also needs to replace his infantry losses. So this is actually suddenly a slightly more favourable situation here for Iroha and the German army. Continuing through the centre, T-35 they're being fixed up. It is so close to the east level though. So close. The additional front side fact, these little handles there on the side of the turret is active for infantry to ride along with. The Soviet army practiced the Decisive doctrine, which basically meant infantry was meant to ride along in tanks. In fact, they were, I believe, have for the different armored units. Infantry specifically like designated to like, you know, ride along on them. So, little fun fact there. Lots of the consoles there. We got 365, 246. Got a DP light machine left behind the dirt here, and another T-35 there for Jimmy. We'll go for Jagdpanzer here. What will he do versus Jimmy? Whatever will he do? There we go. Ace-load T-35, hero of the Soviet Union. The Order of Lenin. Mines down here again, very good here. There again helps, you know, take the steam out of any like Soviet steamroller attack. And definitely I think proved to be one of the crucial elements there for like, you know, getting the upper hand there versus Jimmy during that, you know, 3 T-35 attack. But Jimmy still needs more infantry, and he also would benefit from artillery. In part because, you know, heavy mortars could like also just set off some of these mines that Iroha has laying down. So 21 kills in that T-35. There we go, the full Alpha Strike Hill Academy Alpha's Panzer IV there. Getting some good hits in on the Ace T-35. Panzer IV with a damaged engine can soon go for another one. Or will Iroha now go for a Panther or a Jagdpanzer? In the south there, consuming 4 sandbags being laid down. Thumbs up. Maxim covering the center. But Jimmy is still dangerously short on most things, except Germans. To kill, but there you go. Moving in the other T-35, almost got the Panther IV. There's a lot of anti-tank rounds to back up. The Panther IV making any like further engagement here, unless he's like heading from an unexpected angle, very dangerous. And even from an unexpected angle, most of the anti-tank weapons can quickly respond to the T-35, so probably not worth it. Still, just flooding manpower here. I'm guessing Jimmy is trying to like, you know, make a decision. Then like, does he go all in guardsmen? Does he go for conscripts? Does he go for a mortar? Maxim, I guess. Maxim works too. Can certainly help suppress the elite infantry and keep them from doing too much, but he still needs more infantry long term. T-35 being fixed up. Ace 1 sitting out. Constantly seeing their cover vanish right before the very eyes. Field gun shoots, misses. Heading south over that T-35 engaging the Fulton Grenadiers. Shoots and whiffs, but heroically charges in there and looks to crash as many Germans as possible. Follows the rider by the Ace T-35. 22 kills, and we do get a Panther for Iroha, the Panzerkampfwagen 5. Maxim as the Fallschirmjäger. It should be a win for the Fallschirmjägers due to the heavy cover and the fact that Maxim having none. But there you go. Ace T-35 only met by the veteran, the Field Academy Alpha. The assault unsurprisingly fails here for Jimmy, and he's forced to fall back in the face of the mighty Green Devils here. 21 kills. Veterans E3. Oh, the head of mine there though. Clearly Jimmy's been doing a bit of mining as well there, and Iroha did not spot them all. But he's still flooding a lot of manpower. He's still flooding a lot. Again, I feel like indicating hesitancy here from Jimmy, and again a lack of a clear plan of action, which is definitely in Jimmy's or Iroha's advantage. Panther's about to arrive here. Field gun bounces, so there we go. Panzerkampfwagen 5. The Model A, which was the second model of the Panther. Sort of the intermediate between the Model D and the Model G. The Model G being the final model of Panther, and the Model D being the first model of Panther. Panther going for the T-35 here. Ooh, almost it. Shoots, misses, the Kidnapper does not though. Fallschirmjäger's take a nasty hit though. Panther commits to the T-35 here, but that's another hit here. Good hit there. T-35 there is almost knocked out now, and the Panther keeps pushing. Hits a mine though, the bane of tankers everywhere. Pulling the Panther back here in the face of the T-35. And the field guns, I think, is a very wise decision. Of course, in a pinch, you could also call in the smoke bomb, so like to cover the retreat further. So Panther and Dine need repairs up north here, concentrating through the northern flank here. Jimmy's still floating a lot of manpower. More conscripts. Heavy mortars could be an idea here. Even more guards, but we can't equip them right away. Got the officer being to assist the Panther 4 here. Fighting makes going to go HT from it. There go straight to the Academy and the Panther. That could be the end here of Jamie's HT. There go. The T-34 goes out. The crew is dead. The T-34-5 tank itself can be operated, but losing the ace crew is honestly just a huge blow here to Jimmy because it's, you know, such a massive boost to the tank's firepower output. So while technically he's kind of lucky, he's still, you know, kind of rubbish situation here for Jimmy. Because you really need a tank with a high damage output versus, you know, all of Iroha's forces there. But he's close to another T-35 at least. Can't call it in here. We've got smoke bombs here around the center to cover up an attack here. Probably going to go for the machine gun there and grab it. There we go. Third T-35. We got the tank they're holding back. The engine is pretty much an interfurnace, which is typically not what you want it to be. Yuri, yeah, do you have some bacon? I want to roast it on our Indian block. Yuri, yes, it's not supposed to be doing that. Oh, but... And no, I don't have bacon. Teeth are coming out there. Panther moving out. Going from Northern Fox Squad, they've got 332 versus 149. Iroha's definitely running out victory. Bonty versus Jamie. But Jamie, on the hand, is running out of infantry. He's down to just one squad, and crucially, Iroha still has 5 effectively. That's a massive gap in infantry, and Jamie is just looking to plug the gap with Maxims, which is ambitious to say the least. T-35 the function makers. Come on flank. Panther on the scene here. And opening up his shot bounce. Lucky for Iroha. Panther 4 getting ready 2 shot goes through there from the field gun, which is close to the ace level. Fighting is moving but that's moving through open ground, very low in health there. That is fairly risky stuff there for Iroha, to be honest. Tanks though not operating in a coordinated manner, which is great for Iroha as well. Now, definitely a bad mistake there by Jimmy. Like, when you got 3 T-35s, you do it more like just being presenting them one at a time as a target for German gunners. That's typically how you make the German gunners happy. Very happy. Running through there, crushing numerous German infantry beneath their heavy treads. Ace Kenneth in definite trouble here. But crucially though, again, there is a lack of support here. Maxim's also finding the wrong target. They're getting flanked with the full grenadiers. Another Panther 4 here for Iroha. Air support in the south here against the T-35. That looks like he wants it dead, or at least trying to tank it out there by guarding the point. Kenneth keeps shooting the wrong targets. Panther in a bit of a sticky spot here. We got the Panther going southwards. Right now, the Jimmy's... I mean, they technically got the same sort of size of force, but the crucial part is Jimmy's, most of his population's like sunk into like machine guns and tanks, whereas it has, well, got a lot of tanks, but crucially also a lot of infantry. So there you go, Panther 4 ready. Go to the court with the T-35s. That's a pretty dangerous spot for them to be in, honestly. Pretty wipe here. Air support landing in here from the Luftwaffe. The Kanonenvogel tank into the rear of the T-35. Bolt's going to do squad about to get wiped out. Kevin lands a great hit. And a wipe. Small victory there for Jimmy. In a sea of misfortune, northern max point, they've been grabbed by the Maxim. Maximum heading southwards here for Jimmy. Germany, Deutschland. Panzer northwards here, backed up the mighty Obersoldaten. Tearing them to the maximum crew, mercilessly gunning them down. No survivors. Not much to get it down there either. There you go. Brandhand Grenade forcing the maximum in the south here. The situation for Jimmy is rapidly falling apart. And again, he's just handling his tank so passively. He's clearly sort of stuck in, like, you know, a decision lock. I don't know what you call it that way. Just like he can't quite make up his mind. He wants to attack, but he can't figure out where's the best place to attack. This really means he just ends up like, you know, decision paralysis. There we go. And he just, you know, he just ends up doing nothing despite technically having these 3 T-35s. The way he ends up using them, it's just like he didn't have that. Meanwhile, Iroha has just controlled the field with his tanks. And by now, again, there is parity in numbers. And that is also there more problem now for Jimmy. So, feels like here Jimmy's kind of sort of lost his opportunity now to like maybe close out the match. And Iroha has now steadily gained control of the field here. That's it. I mean, there's technically still the chance that Iroha does something really dumb and then Jimmy punishes him for it, but I was looking a bit rough there. Panther ramming, shoots up, opens up the conscripts there. Great hit. Another great hit there. Maximum engaged, got the T-35 moving in there. Lots of damage here from the Kedmeth as well there. Panther almost knocked out. Conquering for the next tank grenade. Fighting moves though more or less murdering them. And the center needs moving forward. Sturmpionier, Panther, and Panther on the move. He could actually probably rush in and like clear out the rest here. Destroying the Maxim. Panther moving in. T-5 going for the damage Panther 4 here, but he's self exposed here to a German assault here from the tanks. Try and take out that Panther 4. Gets it, but the problem is now like his rest of his armored force look fairly damaged. He did get the Sturmpionier. Oh, they dropped the Panther. They didn't get wiped. It just looked like it. But yeah, now Jimmy's got like next to nothing. Next to flooding resources quite consistently at this point. It feels like just Jimmy is starting to suffer under like stress. His endurance is breaking down. His fortitude is failing in the face of fascist, ferrous frontline fighters. Another T-5 on there for Jimmy. Almost got the T-55 there. More orbs on field has definitely got they could honestly I'll just call in more fights to me because they've been much faster for him. There we go, Orbison scored out. Kedmeth sneaking in. Right in front of the ace of Kedmeth here. Decent shot. Another shot there, got the Panther 4 moving in. Could even blitz in if you wanted to. Does not blitz though. Panther those being fixed up. Finding from northern victory point there. Maximum rushing for the southern point. Team continues to float a lot of manpower. Now the Panther 4 there for Iroha. $140 versus 148. Mine goes off.
Ready for action. Send orders. Crew, get ready.
Fixing up the T-3485.
Standing by.
Panther move in the name of glorious Deutschland. But yeah, it seems like definitely Jimmy's side just sort of hit a bit of a brick wall mentally. He just can't seem to figure out how to break out of this situation. And he's again just kind of making it worse by flooding all this manpower, just in just churning out a lot of cheap conscripts. Or just guardsmen, honestly. 100 points left here. And there you go, hit on mine, meaning that T-35 there is pretty much dead in the water now. And like sharks, Iroha's tanks just going to finish it off here before the rest of the tanks can arrive to respond. Panther getting a T2, getting a bit more health and armor. Troops arriving to help deal with any reinforcing elements here for the T-35, so they're going to clear out the field gun most likely, which is ace level. Other Panther moving in, field gun in trouble here. 73 points left, field being murdered here by the Obersoldaten. Panther getting a T2. Field crew then murdered out, Obersoldaten in trouble here, and there we go, GG, game over. A loss for Jimmy, a victory for Iroha. A fierce fight here on Mill Road, but in the end here, Jamie sort of like, had some issues after a certain point in the game. He struggled to like keep focused and like make decisions, whereas just did not fail. And similarly, I think there was some issues that were just resource flowing for Jamie. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. You'll learn something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it. Tell your friends, tell family, but don't tell enemies. This is Imperial Dancing. Cheers. Thank you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow again for another episode. Bye.